Well, that's the Democrat ticket or folks. And then we have Moranti, the only Republican, current councilman who represents District 6. I want to be mayor. What should we be looking for when we decide to vote for the person we want to be mayor? People have differences of ideas and opinions. Some people just say, this is the person I think could win. It's about the person that could win. And then people like me are looking for specifics about an individual. And when we identify those specifics, then that's who I feel we should get behind. I think if we focus on who can win, we may not win. We will lose. Right? So I wanted to just come on real quick. I want to know what, is it that we are looking for in the next mayor, or what is it that is going to get you to vote, or what is it going to take for a person to get you to get behind them? And we have to really think about this now, especially the Democrats, because if we are not, united in who we stand behind, those of us who are looking for someone new will probably not see that happen. Right? Splitting the votes, right? So we have to think about who it is we want, not because they can win, because then everyone's going to vote for different people, because you're going to think this person can win, that person's going to think this other person can win, and you have the vote split. So what is it that we should be looking for in a person? And what is it that we want the next mayor to achieve? And can the person we stand behind get it done? And that, I believe, in my opinion, is how we should be looking at this. Anybody can win if we get behind them and give them our votes, right? If we all get united behind that person. I mean, we look at our city council now. I mean, anybody can win. But we don't just want anybody. We want the right person. That's what we should be looking for. And that's who we should be standing behind once it's, they are identified, right? And first we have to understand, what is it that we want? What is it that that person should, have or be capable of, or, be able to accomplish or have accomplished, what is it, right? One of the things we want is someone who's not going to be corrupt. I think that's like at the top of the list, right? Someone who's not going to be, part of the nepotism system, the corruption that we see now, and that's just going to be the same old, same old. That has to be a must. We cannot, stand behind anyone that has a connection to what's already in place now, the administration in place now. If we are seeking change, right? If we're looking for a change, right? And we have to see, is this person also mentally tough? Are they mentally strong enough? It's not an easy job, especially if they're going to be successful at it, right? They're going to lead the third largest city in the state of New York. They have to be tough, mentally tough, right? Mentally tough. And they have to have a confidence. They have to have a confidence that they can get it done and show that confidence. And what have they done? Have they gotten things done in the past? Have they done, anything, right? Because what have some of these individuals that we have now done really prior to becoming elected officials, right? So what is their track record? Who are they? Who is this individual? Are they a nice person? Are they a genuine person? Or they're full of crap? This is what we should be thinking about. And that's just my opinion, I guess. Right? It's just my opinion. But that's just what I believe. And I think that if we do that, that is how we become successful. That is how we are successful this year. Because it will be automatic who we would all unite behind. But if we say, hey, I'm going to go for this person, I think they can win. No, I think this person can win. I'm going to vote for that person. And they're both going to lose. So we have to, and I just want to just put that out there. I just want to come on real quick. So, we have to think about what the ideal candidate. We have so much that needs to get done. Our educational system, I think that's huge. I think the ideal candidate would want to focus heavily on the educational system and understand how important, the school districts and the quality of the school district is to the overall community, the overall city. And they have to put an emphasis on that. It has to be a top priority, along with obviously rooting out the corruption. And they have to be speaking about going in there to root out and clean up this corrupt government that we've had. And if they're not saying that, then they're not the right one. They have to acknowledge that. That's been the huge problem here. The elephant in the room. And so if we don't acknowledge that, if the person doesn't acknowledge that, then what are you really going in there to do? You can't get change done without removing the corruption that exists within City Hall. It's just a fact, right? And so can that person do that? Will they do that? Are they going to be strong enough to do that? Mentally tough enough to get it done? Are they going to be able to deal with these developers? Because at the end of the day, they're here. And many of the developments are already going up. We're not going to just say, hey, you have to stop. That's it. Boom, you can't build that building anymore that you've already started. We don't want it to look like that half-built, forgotten development on Stanley. That was supposed to be some apartments there, and then I guess the developer ran out of money or something. So it's sat there for 8 years now. So we have to make sure that person is prepared to deal with that and these developers and see how we can work something out where the city can benefit more from what they're doing because they're benefiting, they're making money. I don't want to hear no sad story from these guys. Oh, we have to do it. We have to go higher. That's how we make more money. We make the money. I don't want to hear that. Right? That's people that are in a worse situation than you guys. Consider yourself lucky if that's your problem. That's all I'm saying. And so we have to have someone who can do that, can understand that, can deal with them, can negotiate, can play hardball, be mentally tough, not be played, not, have a game run on them and spin, things and they just all, this is anyone. I'm not saying anyone in particular. I'm just saying in general. I don't want anyone thinking I'm talking about someone specifically. No, I'm not. Don't want that. But yeah, so we have to, have that. They have to have the ability. They just have to, right? And they have to be present. They have to be in the community. They have to be in the streets. And I don't mean like in the streets like that, like in the neighborhoods. I want to see the mayor. If you're not in the community, how do you know what the problems of the community are? You're not in touch. Whether it's the east side, west side, south side, north side, doesn't matter. Spend time in these different neighborhoods. Get to know the people. That's your job. That's your job. Your full-time job, technically. And you're being paid over $150,000 to do it. And that's another thing. The right candidate has to go in there and look at the numbers, understand what's going on there, understand the budgets, know where the wasteful spending is, and be willing to make those cuts, because I'm sure that they could have cut a lot of other things before they cut the important stuff, for our kids and other things that they need. I mean, like the comptroller said, Yonkers has to learn how to stop using non-recurring money to make payments on recurring expenses. They're creating a Ponzi scheme, basically. Borrowing money from Peter to pay Paul. And so they have to also be smart enough to utilize that non-recurring revenue to help boost up the financial, stability of our city. And so that we're not relying on the state all the time. We take what foundation aid they give us. Of course, we're a champion for as much as we get. But if this is what they give us, cool, we got it. We're going to make it happen because we have, I guess, MGM Grand coming in, and what kind of deal is going to be negotiated with them? And that's another huge issue or topic or whatever, thing that the mayor, whoever is the mayor, is going to be dealing with, because Mike Spano is going to sell it to folks as, I've been in this, I've been doing this, I know what's going on, as if everybody else is stupid. There's no one smart enough to come in there and figure it out. Right? It's not that hard, really, actually. I mean, it's not easy, but it's not rocket science. And if Spano's handling any, I think many of us can. And the big thing with that MGM Grand thing is going to be, how much is Yonkers getting? How much is Yonkers getting? How much is Yonkers getting? Because we're supposed to be getting 19, 20 mil a year from the casino. And yet, what has that really brought to the school district? They can't pinpoint what it did. Like, I want specifics. What did that money do? Tell me. How did it improve? How was it utilized? Right? How was it utilized? Or was it used to cover money that was taken from the school budget to do other things, and then it had to be replaced, so we never cut up. We never get ahead. And that's what seems to happen here in Yonkers. We can never get ahead. There was a lot of COVID money that the city got that's ended. It's no more money. But we could have used that money to get ahead rather than increasing expenses, because we're getting this one-shot deal now. We should have cut back expenses, taken in this money, and help stabilize us moving forward, because now when the money's run out, those expenses that we picked up because we had additional money, where's the money going to come from to pay those expenses in the coming years? Is the city going to have to borrow money like they did to pay those tax settlements or whatever from people, investors who contested it, $15 million? So that's another huge problem that we've had here in the city. It's the money mismanagement, right? That's one of the famous lines that people say. Where's the money? Where's the money going? Where's the money? We got this money. We got that money. Where's it at? Where's it at? It's being mismanaged. You got individuals here in the city of Yonkers. One year they make a salary, let's say $80,000. Year two, they got a $40,000 raise, $60,000 raise. That's facts. I got this facts. Like, why does these individuals getting $40, $50, and $60,000 raises within a year if we are in need of money? We can't do that. And what about overtime? Why is it that people get guaranteed overtime? I mean, do we need overtime all the time? I mean, I always thought overtime was because you had some extra work that was there. We needed a guy, boom, right? Do some overtime work. This guy didn't come in. He's out sick. Want to pick up some time. We got an extra, load today or whatever. But every week, people are entitled to 20 hours of overtime every week. But I say, if there's that much overtime work, then why not hire additional people give more people jobs and pay less, because you're gonna, instead of paying one guy $200,000 because he's got all this overtime, why not hire two guys? Overtime pays more. Then you have all these differentials and everything that the guys get. And I'm not knocking nobody, but if the only way we can make money or better the city is to bring developers in that are going to push people out, cause the cost of living to increase, make the city so crowded that it takes you 20 minutes to get from the Sawmill exit to City Hall, and we can't fix any streets, then we're doing something wrong. Something is wrong, because that's not the answer. That's not the answer. Right? So you have to think about who we want to be the next mayor, and how what are their capabilities, right? How effective can they be? And I really believe mental toughness is a big one. Mike Spano is the reason Yonkers Raceway revenue was capped. Mike Spano, yeah, and his brother, I'm sure, because they are represented by Empire Strategic Planning. So is MGM Grand. So now, how is it that Mike Spano, who wants to be your next mayor, once again going to negotiate a great deal for the city of Yonkers with MGM, if his big brother, who he looks up to, who he stays quiet to, represents MGM? And he's going to say, no, Mike, my client doesn't want to pay that much. And that's that. It's going to be a set number, not a percentage, which is the wrong move. It should always be a percentage. It should always be based on a percentage, because some years they're going to make more money, as Empire City did year over year. Yet the city got the same 19, 20 mil. And that's not a good deal. We want a percentage. So every time you guys go up, we go up. We need somebody that's going to go in there and play hardball for the people of this city, the people that don't have, the resources and the network and all the money to get what they want. And that's the majority of the people who just get up, go to work, do their job, want to come home, want to drive on streets without potholes, don't want to have their Cadillac converter stolen. I get it. That's happening everywhere. Don't want to have their homes burglarized. Don't want to have these big buildings being developed right next to their beautiful single family home, or want to be considered prior to approving Chick-fil-A to be in their backyard. Without at least saying, hey, Chick-fil-A, can you compensate my constituents in some way? You guys are going to be making buku cash. They're going to have to deal with that now. It's true. They're going to be rodents. That just naturally comes with these restaurants, right? And the garbage that they throw out. There's going to be a smell. There's going to be increased traffic, literally right in front of someone's house, literally right next to another person's home. And no one considered them. But people who don't live there and love Chick-fil-A are not going to care, right? But that's not okay. That's not the attitude to have, because we have to work together. There were other places they could have put that Chick-fil-A that wouldn't have been such a, a burden to the people who live in that neighborhood. And I like Chick-fil-A. I was excited about it. I'm going to go there. I am. It's going to be there, right? We need more, variety here in Yonkers when it comes to food. But how they do it, we need some of this development. We need some of these changes, of course. But how is it done? And at what cost? And we need to involve the people more. That's one of the big complaints that many people had when they came out to these city, hall meetings or these town hall meetings. It was the short amount of notice they were given. They could not prepare. to make their case. And that obviously made them feel like the city didn't care about what they had to say. And that's exactly what they've shown. They haven't shown otherwise. Not once. They'll pretend to, but they won't. Right? And so that has to change. Right? There's many people from the seniors that couldn't get their center open, just something that simple. As a mayor, I would have been like, get their damn center open. You're getting all that overtime, make sure that thing is done. Steve, get it open. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, why they gave the seniors over there such a hard time. And then they threatened to take the dog park, or not take it, but make it open to the public, which was going to be, you know, kind of a inconvenience for the dogs that were in the shelter who already were in a cage most of the day. Just to appease people who are coming in to live in these developments with their dogs, which is cool, but don't take away from other people, right? And so it's just these little small things, right, of not considering people go a long way. And I think that, you know, we have to think about who is it that we want to be mayor. And that comes, you know, with compassion. It comes with compassion for other people. And I don't think the elected officials we have in office now are very compassionate people. They're not the most empathetic people. Moranti needs to get tough if he has any chance. You know, I don't dislike Moranti, right? It's like the mayor, right? You don't dislike them as a person, right? The mayor comes off as this great guy, and everybody says it's not that, right? But it's the actions. It's the actions, it's the inactions. That's the problem. And Moranti, I just don't see his actions. You know, I don't see what he really, you know, listen, you know, and then I don't know, Moranti just doesn't seem like he's, I don't know, maybe somebody said he did a great speech before, maybe, I guess, but at the meetings, I'm lost, Moranti. I'm not sure what you're trying to say, right? And then I've seen them prove you wrong, you know, when you try to check them on the budget, and then you say, oh, no, okay, never mind, right? Like, come on now, you can't do that, right? you're the money guy, right? You're the money guy. What do you say about the fact that the city goes over its overtime budget? They already have a budget for overtime, but they go over that by $4 to $5 million each year, each department. So add that up. What do you say about that, Moranti? Is that wasteful spending or no? Right? No? I mean, you know, you don't mention that stuff, and that's important. That's important because if we can save that money, think about what we can do with that money. Right? Think about other things that we really need that we haven't been able to do. And it's been so long, 12 years, and now we see some changes, and we're supposed to be, yeah, that's great. It took you this long. Then you had your time. You know, you had your time. That's all I'm saying. We need someone who will speak up for us in all areas. Absolutely. That's what I mean. Everybody. And that person needs to be in those different districts, speaking to the people, going to the different people, not to just give a proclamation, right? Great job. You're doing an amazing job. I was happy to see you here. But what is it that you need? Like certain individuals, I'm not going to say who because I don't want them to have any issues, but you're having trouble with permits. They're making you go through hell. Oh, is it because AMS is developing over here and you have a good location, a prime location, and some people want you out because they want that? That's what one business owner is going through. And they're giving him a hard time with his permits, asking him to do all these crazy things because ultimately they want him out. And so that's not okay. And again, that comes with empathy. That comes with caring about people, being compassionate, right? And so we need someone who's compassionate and tough, mentally tough, right? Mentally tough. And be more for the people, not for the developers. Absolutely. You know, that's what I mean. You know, have the constituents first. The people are what matter, right? But you also have to have some form of development, to stimulate, the economy here in Yonkers. But that's another thing. We have to think outside the box, right? How do we stimulate that economy? Again, one of the ways I'm saying, if we are, paying guys over $100,000 in overtime, then why not hire people who have been wanting jobs with DPW? Give them the 100,000. If you're going to still pay the 200, at least give it to two different people, or hire two guys. They start them at what, 79? That's 80. That's two guys there. You got 160,000. You're saving 40,000, and you're getting the same amount of work or hours, right? And you're giving more people work. So you have to be unique in your way of thinking and, think outside the box. And, but that comes with really wanting to do the right thing, wanting to make it work, want to really see more people get jobs. Right? That comes with that. But if you don't care, if you just listen, that's my friend's nephew, or that's my nephew, or that's my bro, whatever, and yeah, take all the overtime you want, and yeah, let's keep the unions happy, right? So let's give them all this extra overtime, right? Let's keep these guys happy, give them all this, right? But how is that how is that benefiting over everyone overall? And not that, because everybody always says we love, our guys, and we do, we care about them. Of course, they do things that help this, city run. It's important, right? But that doesn't mean that we are not just as important, and that we all don't have to make some sacrifices. And it's not fair. Some people say, well, I don't feel like we should make sacrifice. But why not? When the overall city needs it. Right? So maybe you guys don't get a raise this year, but you're still making 160-some thousand a year. You're still making 200,000 a year, right? Or maybe there's no promotions this year because, we want to try to save some money. That's what I'm saying, So just thinking outside the box. A lot of people, may not like that, but there's decisions that have to be made, right? To help better everyone, like you said, in all areas. In all areas. And when you give people work, they're not out on the street. They're making money. They can afford the housing. Less crime, right? Everybody wins. Everybody wins, right? So that's what I'm saying. So we have to, the person has to be unique. And I don't know. So that's just the way I just want to come on real quick. I'm not being until a half hour. Just what is it that we should be looking for in the person that we get behind as, for mayor of the city of Yonkers, because we have to get behind one person. We can't all be all over the place. We cannot be all over the place. I mean, otherwise, if you are for change, if you are one of the individuals here in the city of Yonkers that wants to see change, a new mayor, then listen to this. We cannot be all over the place. So what is it that we are looking for? What do we want? Is it just simply someone that could win, or is it someone that's going to get things done that we need and we want? Right? That's what we have to be looking for, and we all have to pretty much, we could come to the same conclusion of who that person is, because we all should say, hey, we want, our quality of life to be improved. Our educational system, that's huge. That to me is huge. To be the focus, our streets, our infrastructure. Think about the overcrowding. Are we building too much? Are we overdeveloping? And what does that mean for the city? I don't trust these studies that they've done, right? All these secret studies of environmental studies and traffic studies. I don't trust them. The companies that do the studies, they're gonna appease, the administration. They want to keep getting these contracts, right? It's like, so I don't trust them. And so that needs to be looked at, because I can't imagine that it's okay to build all that up over there by Buena Vista, or build all that up over there by, Water Grand Street, the way it is there, the way they go in and out to get to the apex over there. That sucks, man. And what are they going to do with the garage? Is it going to come out the cars on the, Teutonia? Where's the garage? They're doing 900 parking spaces. Where is it going to be? Down deep? I mean, how's that going to look, right? And where are the cars going to come out at? Are they going to come out behind, the Water Grand Street? Is they going to, come underneath the tracks there? And so now they're going to also have the Water Grand Street people, the Apex people, the Hudson, whatever those apartments are called, people, all coming out of that one, where it's real narrow, and you almost crash if you don't watch yourself there. But anyway, folks, I'm Freddie Vasquez. I just wanted to put that out there. You know, and according to Yonkers votes, it's official. I'm running for mayor according to Yonkers votes because they put it out, so it's official, right, folks? You know, but yeah, we have to think about that. Who, you know, listen, I want us to be successful. So this is why I'm talking about it. You know, people have different ideas. There's these different groups, right? It's just, I don't understand it. And I hear that, you know, Corazon and Margaret Coleman have made an agreement. You know, whoever I guess gets the, you know, wins or whatever more votes, the other person is going to go and support that person. Right. So I guess they're having that agreement, you know. But I mean, you know, I don't know how, and I'm not talking about Margaret Coleman, but Corazon again. For mayor, I don't understand. I don't see that. I just don't see that. That's what I mean. What are we looking for? What qualifies her as, you know, the person that should be elected as the next mayor? And this is not personal. So please don't take it that way. I want to know. What is it that qualifies her? I know that they wanted to look for a Latina. One of the things they said, she's a Latina woman. That's what I've heard. That's the really only thing that I've heard. Because she's a Latina woman. And some people have even said your wife should run, Freddie, because she's a black woman. I love my wife, and you know she does great at what she does. I'm just saying, my wife doesn't really want that stuff, right? She's too like nice, like, and she can't be nice, really too nice. She's just ugly, right? But I mean, just the point is that's why you know, because she's a black woman, right? And so that can't be the reason. So what is it that makes Margaret Coleman, Reverend Margaret Coleman, your choice, or that makes Corazon your choice, or that makes, you know, Prince Robinson your choice, or that makes Moranti your choice, or even the mayor? What is it? Right? It's got to be more than just because Corazon's a Latina woman, but that's all that I really heard. That's it. That's it. Oh, no, I'm wrong. And she's got the democratic infrastructure. But so we're going to put this machine behind someone that really shouldn't be there. This is what doesn't make sense to me. Right? If she did an amazing job, if she wasn't tied to the Spanos, if I didn't, you know, see what I see and know what I know, okay. But so you put this machine behind the wrong person? How are we vetting people? So it's all about just maybe who could win, who got the best chance of winning. So then again, it's not a genuine thing. So this whole thing is not going into a genuine, right? So we're going to have problems. We're going to have more problems. And that's it. That's what I foresee. If that person even gets past Mike Spano. Because honestly, the people that they're going to have to get to vote for them are people that may consider or are considering voting for Spano or have voted for Spano. And they're going to have to attract new voters also, people that have not been engaged before. We're going to need those votes. And so can they pull those votes? Or the Spano people are going to say, I'm just going to vote for Spano again. This is because I don't know about this. And then we don't get the change. We'll see. We'll see. I'm Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics. That's what I think. It's just what I believe. And so I think we really got to think about this, right? And let's see what happens come petition season, which starts February 28th. That's when the candidates are going to be going out to get signatures. That's when you'll know who all the candidates are, because they'll be out there getting signatures.
Ready, win.
I am Freddie Vasquez. This is Basement Politics Unfiltered. I want to be mayor of the city of Yonkers. What does it take to become the mayor of the city of Yonkers? What is it that we should be looking for so that we make the best decision for our city and more importantly for our kids, because they are the future. They're going to be here. Hopefully they'll be here still, right? So we have to think about them also. What's going to be in the best interest of our kids? Because a lot of this stuff is going to be impacting them. Again, you're still here. I don't know. I'm Freddie Vasquez, folks. Have a beautiful and blessed night.
Freddie wins.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
Thank you for watching Basement Politics with my husband, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie wins. Fatality.
I was raised in housing.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
In another one, Mr. Rumo lied to me. And I don't vote for the person that lied to me. Thank you very much. In another...
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Freddie